Good evening, and welcome to Darkest Hours. Tonight's rather chilling tale has been pulled from the archives and is simply titled Sarah's Routine. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yet Sarah's life had been one long repetitive bore, and that was the way she liked it. She would get up in the morning, get washed, dressed, eat breakfast, and then go happily off to work. She didn't do spontaneous. She liked the order that her life had. Some people would have called her boring, but she knew what she liked and what she didn't, and therefore didn't really feel the need to change anything. She had a good job at a marketing company and a nice apartment not too far from the city. There was a park where she would go running each evening before heading home to take a shower, eat, watch television, and then go to bed. Tomorrow, Sarah would get up and repeat the same process. This was Sarah's routine. She enjoyed this order so much that even at work she kept to a rigid schedule. She would always ensure that she took her lunch at the same time and that she left the office every evening at 5, not a minute later. Her co-workers thought that all this was rather strange. She didn't really appear to have any career ambition and didn't seem interested in progressing. She was just happy to be there. Perhaps she was just one of those people truly content with their lot in life. Sarah's life was nothing if not orderly, just the way she liked it. However, there was one part of this routine that Sarah would rather have gotten rid of, but it seemed like the rest of her life, it was destined to stay the same. Every single night, without fail, Sarah would wake up screaming. She was plagued by nightmares and had been since she was a child. She'd seen doctors and sleep specialists. She'd been tested and slept in hospitals, and yet nothing they could give her would stop the dreams again. Always the same. Her, trapped in a cell, screaming down on her knees, her hands clamped over her ears, fists clenching so tight it was pulling the hair out. The walls closing in as the man observed her through the door window. He was smiling, and he always said the same thing. "This is your home, Sarah. I'll see you tomorrow." And then he would leave, and Sarah would continue to scream and pull at her hair, dragging so hard that clumps of it would start to come out in her hands. She would scream until she finally woke, panting and sweating in the darkness, before remembering that this was just a dream, just another part of her routine that went ever onwards. Change, however, is inevitable, and so, when that day came, Sarah reacted in the only way she knew how. She carried on with her routine as best she could. She felt like she took the change with remarkable flexibility. All of a sudden, her company had decided that she would need to move offices. She would need to move home, but although they would help with the relocation, it still felt like a huge undertaking. They were asking her to move so that she could head up a new team, something which she had never asked for, but they felt would be good for her career development. She smiled and took it with the grace that she felt was acceptable, and started to plan her move and how she was going to accomplish what she needed to do. So that night Sarah went to bed as per usual and awaited the nightmare that she knew would come. And the nightmare did come. She was back in the cell. Once more she was on her knees, screaming as if the hounds of hell themselves were chasing her. Only this time, it was different. The man came into the room and knelt down next to her. He was asking if she could hear him and if they could talk. Sarah stared dumbly at him, her hands tense and her eyes sore at the bright lights. This was wrong. What was happening? Why was it different now? Was this because of the changes in her life? Had they unrooted her nightmares as well? What new torments would she have to face now? He helped her to her feet and led her down a corridor, doors passing by as she walked, although she hardly noticed. She was in a haze, a drunken stupor almost, so fazed was she by the difference of what was happening. Eventually, she came into a room and sat at a table opposite the man. He passed her a cup of water inside it and smiled warmly. "So, why don't we pick up where we left off?" She just stared, blankly, as if he was speaking a foreign language. "Sarah, you murdered 15 people. At work. Do you remember doing that?" What? She had no idea what this man was talking about. This conversation was taking a deeply unsettling turn. "You'd just been told you were being promoted. You strode into the office the day after and shot 15 people. Why did you do that, Sarah?" She had no idea what to say. She'd never been here, and she'd never spoken to him before in the dreams. Why wasn't she awake yet? It was all so disorientating. She just mumbled the only reply she could. "Why am I here?" He sighed deeply, as if they'd had this conversation 1,000 times and it had reached the inevitable conclusion just as it always did. "This is your home, Sarah. I'll see you tomorrow." And so Sarah's routine comes to an end. That poor soul, lost inside her own mind. One can only imagine the anguish that she must be undergoing. Fact or fiction? As always, you'll make up your own mind. But if you've enjoyed this tale, then please click the like and subscribe button below. Until next time, good night and sweet dreams.